Are we in the mainstream media guilty of selective outrage and selective coverage when it comes to communal incidents? Do we focus excessively on those involving Hindu groups and ignore almost those involving Muslim mobs? This narrative is once again playing out, particularly on the social media, in the context of the violence in the Bengal district of Malda, where we are being accused of almost blanking out or playing down Malda, even as we gave excessive or disproportionate coverage allegedly to what happened in Dadri a few months ago. Dadri and Malda, the truth actually is a little bit more prosaic and simple. The fact is Dadri is located less than 1 hour away from most national TV headquarters. So much easier to send OB vans there and cover it almost like live 24/7 coverage. Malda, by contrast, is in interior Bengal, so much more difficult to reach. The fact also is at any given time, television tends to focus on one big story almost to the exclusion of all else. So when Malda was boiling, the fact was the biggest story was the terror attack on the Pathankot airbase that almost occupied the entire mind space and airspace. I'm not offering any excuses. I'm trying to explain to you. I'm also crediting social media with the fact that as an effective first information report, they pointed us out to the violence in Malda, which might have otherwise escaped our attention. Credit to social media for that. But having done that, social media in some ways seem to slip into the bad hole habits for which they've been vilified in the past. Exaggerating reports, falsifying pictures, and actually creating Photoshop pictures and suggesting this was happening even as we speak in Malda itself. There's a real danger in this. I remember a few years ago in Muzaffarnagar, pictures went viral which had nothing to do with the violence in Muzaffarnagar but involved Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar. That's where social media needs to observe a little restraint. Yes, Muslim mobs burnt a police station, burnt cars. But we must be conscious of not trying to exaggerate what was happening on the ground in Malda. Yes, we must ask for fitting punishment to mobs who take law into their own hands in the name of religion. Yes, we must raise questions of the Bengal government, and we have, I certainly have, of the failure of the Bengal government to act in time. But let's stop these comparisons. You covered Dadri for 24 hours, you covered Malda for 1 hour. Both Malda and Dadri, and indeed any instance of mob violence of this kind, is a blot on this country. That's the way we've got to approach it. And we cannot be selective on either side. I think there are lessons to be learned. And let me give you one lesson which I learned and which is a wake-up call for me also. A few days ago, a reporter on the ground in Malda told me that his national editor rang him up to say, what is happening on the ground? The reporter said, all is calm, sir. He said, calm? But everyone is saying there is violence. Please show me pictures of violence. Is this the kind of journalism that we want to see in the future? Are these the kind of television channels who will observe the basic rules of the game? And isn't restraint in times like this much better than irresponsible journalism? Think about it. As I said, the mainstream media needs to learn lessons. And so does the social media when it comes to reporting sensitive situations like Malta. Do send me your comments to rajdeepsardesai.net. Thanks for listening.